uh, in the structure, right? So the overbuckling of the reinforcement bars takes place. And here we could able to see the stirrups placing is not that much good. Actually, when a huge structure is there, we should always provided the close spacing. That means very stringent way we should provide the space. It is actually D by 4 we should place nearby the beam column junction. Apart from that way, in the central way, we can provide a D by 2 spacing also. And the minimum spacing stirrups, that should be 8 mm. But here it is very, very thin. So the concrete confinement has the crushing type of failure here. So here we could able to see the settlement failure. Due to the settlement failure, there is a major collapse in the wall. So here also the same thing. And here we could able to see the concrete portion that is not that much good. Some slight touch up is there with the concrete portion, and mostly it is just like a plaster. It is there. There is no much cohesiveness over the concrete, and also the concrete what they have provided is not adequate. So we could able to clearly see that minimum 8 bars they have provided for the main reinforcement, which is not at all adequate for this. So minimum 12 to 16 bars they should go with that. And the stirrups at least 8 to 10 they have to provide it. So that is the major cause. Improper way of providing the reinforcement is not matchable with the loads which is coming on the structures. And here we could able to see the alignment of the column is totally missing. So the person who has just erected that, right, at the bottom, we could able to see some level is there. When it is going on the top, there is some increase in the eccentricity. So there is a deviation in the column, right? And also we could able to see the cover block is totally missing here. One side, the distance between the reinforcement to the outer part is very large, whereas at the other side, the adjacent side, it will be very, very less. So the column is totally misaligned with its position. So here we could able to see there is a change in dimension of the column, and at the bottom the column size is less, whereas the top the column size is more. Actually it is creating the change in stiffness in the column, entire column. So whenever there is a change in dimension of the column, automatically the stiffness property is changed. Whenever there is a variation in the stiffness, the load will not be evenly distributed over it. Okay, so the column position should be uniform from the foundation to the last part. At no matter, at no cost, we should not change its dimension. So here, for some architectural or some good appearing purpose, the columns are missing at the end of the building. It is just like a box shaped beam, which is supported with the two columns. The other two columns are not at all provided, right? So this is the major mistake. This is purely the architectural way they have did like this. And here we could able to see the discontinuity in the column position. Actually, this is the mistake which was happened in 2001 Gujarat earthquake. The buildings which are not aligned with the column position from bottom to top, there is a change in the load transformation path. So due to that, the load abruptly taking place and the huge collapse of pancake failure that is happened. So here also the same thing. From ground story to first floor, the column is at one position, and after that, the column has been just moved back like that. And here, one of the floors we could able to see very thin thickness only they have provided. So mostly at the hinge points, the failure will be enormous. So here we could able to see no skilled labor he is involved in the construction, or for showing something very peculiar, the architectural features were made like that. There is no connection with the position of openings, position of lintel, position of slab, like that. It is just played with the construction materials in that building. So here the next thing is the improper way of positioning the staircase. Anyhow, they need to provide the staircase for routing the ground floor to upper floor. For that, the safe they have provided. So here we could able to see there is no proper way of thread, right? The thread is very less, and mostly it is very dangerous, and it is very tough to climb over that. So by providing this type of staircase, at least they should not provide the staircase by any other means, temporary ways they could have planned for. And here, the wrong way of understanding the drawings. Actually, he might be with the online batch also. Okay, so that is the case. He could not think how the person has to climb over the staircase to go to the next level, right? Because the drawing there is not a position or understanding way the drawing has been seen. So they have not provided proper way for the intermediate slab. So that is the way they have provided. Somebody has to climb to the next floor level. So here we could able to see there is an improper matching with the landing slab, and so many divisions has been made in the staircase landing slabs, right? Some ups will be there, some downs will be there. The ups will be 3 steps, right? There is no proper positioning of the landing slab with respect to the floor level, right? Anyhow, they have provided the staircase, but the staircase is not up to the mark. Lot of steps are there, complicated way it is there. And here also the same thing. They have started at one point, they doesn't know how to end up with the staircase. So they have provided with some slight adjustment, somebody has to go to the next level. If the person is very fat, he does not go to the staircase, right? So some wrong way they have followed, and till the end also they have followed the same thing. They doesn't know how to come out from that. So here we could able to see the unplanned way of providing the plumbing systems. Too much complicated plumbing system, and I do not know how the plumber has given the line for that. At least we should give the award for him, because so many interconnections, so many bend, right? Which pipeline, which line is coming, and where it is coming, where it is going. It is totally unimaginable way in doing the repair work also. The another thing, the person who is residing in this floor, he has to climb to the staircase and go to the upper level. So while positioning the staircase, at least they should have leave the area, the communication way, at least for this particular house alone. They should start apart from that or away from the door. They have to start the staircase work. And here the mistake here is, right, for the small bit of beam, they have provided 3 numbers or 4 numbers. Okay, 4 numbers they have provided at the top, bottom 3 numbers. Actually, what is their intention is, actually, if the bar is 12 by 12, that is the size. Instead of providing 12 mm bar of 4 numbers, they have just provided 8 mm bars of some more numbers. So in stirrups also, very, very thin, slender, they have provided, even it is 6, I think. So here we could able to see the reinforcement bars. There is no overlapping of bar also. In some place, the bar has been ended, right? And very long way, the slender has been provided. The depth of the beam is much more. Intermediately, there is no reinforcement is provided. So here we could able to see the complete displacement of the column. So there is no proper position of this column, right? Totally 20 to 25 degree, it is getting deviated finally. So here we could able to see the connection between the column or the floor to column connection, that is not at all good. And some place the beam column junction is not that much adequate to cross over it. Some bend they have artificially created for the erection of the columns. So here the column position is somewhere else at the bottom, and that has been bent to go to the another dimension of the column. So in between the beam column junction, there is a lot of confusion with the diameter of the bars. Here we could able to see lot and lot varieties of diameter of the bars are running into the beam column junction. And the column is also not having such position with floor to floor. And here we could able to see in the main bar, there is a change in diameter. At the bottom, some thin, and at the top, some variance is there. And here the mistake is, their intention is to go with the circular column. But, okay, they have not provided the spiral reinforcement. Helical reinforcement they have not provided. But with the square or rectangular reinforcement itself, they have made as a circular column. And here the grade beam or tie beam, that is totally unfit with respect to the quality control. While removing the formwork itself, all the coarse aggregate materials are being comes out. The poor graded of concrete and poor compaction of the concrete. Compaction is not at all done here. And the reinforcement what they have provided at the end of the tie beam, that is also very weak and thin. And here we could able to see there is no cover block for this type of thing. Actually here it is a solid concrete wall, but there is no horizontal reinforcement here. So here we could able to see some deviation in the main bar. The alignment is not exactly correct with respect to X and Z direction. So they are deviating the column position according to the beam. Here we could able to see totally they had made a failure column for each level to level or each story to story. Because of this so much eccentricity, right, at this beam column junction point, there is a heavy damage over it. The column is not at all having a uniformity in the sections. So here we could able to see there is an opening in the roof with varieties of designs, and this will make much further a beacon to the beam, to the building. So lot of construction mistakes due to concreting is the buck holes. Lot of holes are there. Major areas are honeycombing, and sometimes over compaction, over consolidation also the water particles are moved away. After that, the heavy particles are settled to one side like that. So here we could able to see lot of shrinkage cracks because when the areas of the surfaces are very large, okay, automatically the curing is very highly we should give curing. If they are not giving the adequate curing, automatically the cracks will be developed like this. Actually, the cracks will be classified structural cracks, non-structural cracks. Of course, this is fallen under the non-structural cracks, but anyhow, the cracks widening will also take place depending upon the load acting. And here we could able to see the entire portion of the concreting that has been completely deteriorated because of the weak concreting, or within the possible days of removing the formwork, they have revived much early in the site also. So here we could able to see there is no cement and sand is available in the concrete. Only the coarse aggregates are there, right? Even after the removal of the formwork, the steel members are highly exposed to the conditions. So these are all totally the poor of concreting work. And this is the next failure where the particular portion, lot of voids, lot of cracks, and some portions they have just break down for the construction purpose. So artificially they have provided with that, right? So some portion it has been completely cutted out. So here we could able to see some of the things. The plastering work is not fitted into that particular wall. Lot of air voided gaps are there, so that slightly if we chipped off the entire plastering work, fine plastering work that has been comes out. So here also the very poor grading of concrete. So only the coarse aggregate jellies are seen over the concrete. Okay, we could not able to see any of the cement mortar over which. So the poor workmanship and poor qualities of mixing that has makes the lot like this. So here we could able to see the corrosion in this. The corrosion, why it was happened in the RCC bar. Actually, the cover block thickness is not adequate, which is in the dimension of 25 to 40. So minimum 25. It was not ensured, the particular member. So because of that, the reinforcement bar in the concrete is fully getted corroded. Okay. So here we could able to see the shear cracks, the improper or inadequate way of provided the stirrups, the beam, and due to that, the shear crack has been formed. If they want to avoid the shear cracks, actually the closed spacing of stirrups has to be made. So here we could able to see the correct practice of foundation, incorrect practice. So the first diagram which says it is a improper way of doing the construction work. The second is diagram is the correct way. Actually, when the excavation is done, the foundation concrete has to be laid over, after which on both the left hand side and right hand side, the offset has to be given for first footing, second footing, third footing, like that. Instead of that, right, in the first diagram, they have not provided the footings with offsets. It is just like the slope retaining wall. It is not a good construction. So properly they should mix the foundation concrete with 40 mm coarse aggregate, and properly it has been provided, and above over it they have to provide the grade beam with proper formwork and concreting. And this is the plinth beam, plinth band. In earthquake resistant structures, we can call it is a plinth band. In a normal way, it is a grade beam or plinth beam. So why it is needed means to avoid the propagation of cracks. So we could avoid the buildings from the settlement type of failures. So whenever there is a difference in the plinth level, and it has to be matchable with one horizontal platform, which is called plinth beam. So the steel bars minimum diameter 12 has to be made. Reinforcement bar should be protected by 20 FIM concrete cover. As far as the stirrups are concerned, the stirrup diameter should be at least 6 mm, and the spacing of 15 centimeter should be sufficient. So this is the arrangement of steel bars in the grade beam. The formwork has been made in the way to make the actual size of the concrete. So whatever may be the size of the grade beam or plinth beam, the exact size, if it has to be done, means that could be achievable only by providing the exact dimension on both sides and the top of the bottom of the formwork. So here we could able to see the two sides it is covering. Then the skeleton of the reinforcement is placed in the formwork. Then the concreting has been made with minimum grade M20. So here we could able to see the table, it is a needle vibrator should be placed in the grade beam. So the over compaction also leads to a problem. The under compaction, the improper compaction also leads to a major problem. So maximum 20 seconds only, the compaction that has been done. So once the grade beam has been made properly, it has been the formwork has been removed. There's a plinth level. So always we should not provide the building height that is equal to the ground level. At least some elevation it should be there. So here in this diagram we could able to see the basement portion is somewhat raised, right? After the basement, the brickwork portion, they have provided the surroundings with the grade beam. Then only they are going to provide the next level of construction. So the right practice and the wrong practice. So proper bond has to be ensured. If everything it is in a same fashion, we cannot able to ensure the bonding. So some of the constructions they are providing ferro cement mesh also in between every layer of the brickwork, and some places the bars has been provided in a vertical way, right? So this is the lintel versus lintel band. Okay, so in olden way the lintel will be provided, but here they have provided the lintel band. Okay. So here we can see the lintel band combined with the sunshade and loft shed. So inside the house, if you are projecting, it is the sunshade, it is the loft slab. The outside the house, if you are projecting sunshade, in some of the houses, parallelly the reinforcement was made with respect to lintel on left hand side and right hand side with the loft slab and sunshade slab. So at a stitch, the roof slab has been made with proper reinforcement, and four sides the formwork has been made, and also at the bottom proper scaffolding has been done. So here it is the reinforcement details for earthquake resistant features. So as I said earlier, either it is a column or it is the beam. In the junction, the closed spacing that has been given with the spacing of d by 4, and how far the distance has been given means 2 times of the d it has been given. So the hook of the reinforcement bar, actually in a column it is a tie member, in a beam it is a stirrups member. So it has been bent towards 135-degree hook. There is 90-degree plus 45-degree hook arrangement has been given, and it has to be properly tied with the main reinforcement bar and with the stirrups, so that it should not get open even during very high forces are acting. And in some of the ways, if the beam, if the column size is very wide in terms of side length, so if there is a chance of providing more than 4 bars of a column, the outside of the bar that has been connected with the tie member, and the inside of the bar that has been connected with 180-degree tie member. And if there is any overlapping of the bars in the beams or columns also, we should provide the lap length of either d by 2 and 150, whichever is smaller. We have seen to this. Thank you for patiently attending the session. If you are having any doubt, you can post it in the chat box.
Hello everyone. If you have any doubts, you can feel free to ask the questions. Either raise your hands or post it in the chat box.
If you have any doubts, please you can raise your hands or you can post it in the chat box. Sir, well explained, sir. Thank you for your information, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity given. Thank you, Lingeshwara.
Thank you, sir. We will see another 1 minute, sir. If no one is
Yeah,
got
yeah,
any
sure, sure.
comments, we will close the session, sir.
Yeah.
Let's go now. Yeah, yes, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your expertise and insights have provided us with a profound understanding of how failures in construction can serve as invaluable lessons for future success. Your analysis and real-world examples have shed light on the critical importance of learning from mistakes. It is my privilege to extend our deepest gratitude to Dr. P.L. Mayappan, sir, for his enlightening and thought-provoking session on construction errors, a learning aspect from failure perspectives. Your presentation not only highlighted the common pitfalls in construction practices, but also offered practical solutions and strategies to mitigate these risks. We are incredibly grateful for the time and effort you have dedicated in sharing your knowledge with us. On behalf of our Department of Civil Engineering, I once again extend our heartfelt thanks to you, sir. We look forward to the opportunity to learn from you again in the future. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, only one person he asked a question like,
Yeah, please.
what is the best possibility of avoiding these problems?
Actually, proper planning and the parallel works and the series works has to be parallelly go, and proper communication strategies has to be adapted in avoiding that, and also periodical reviewing the works which has been done, that has been seen. How does the use of recycled materials impact the sustainability of the construction project? Actually, if we well adequate with the quality aspects in adhering with the proper grade of concrete, then we can use the recycled materials. And also proper way of processing is also make an impact over that. What should be the role of city planners in policy making to avoid? So actually proper planning and proper approval, if it is done in the site, the design itself we can avoid. While executing also 100% it has been mapped with planning and execution.
Thank you, sir. And one more question also is there, sir. How does the use of recycled materials impact the sustainability of a construction project?
Yeah. That recycled material has to be properly processed. Actually, hot water processing method is there, and acid processing is there. Segregation of materials, once it has been done, then proper recycling has to be done. Once if the proper recycling is ensured, then we should go with the trial mix test. If it is satisfied with the required grade of concrete, then we can use the recycled materials. Until otherwise, we should not use with the proper quality check.
And one more participant asked that, respected sir, how can grey water system be integrated into building designs to improve water efficiency?
Actually, grey water systems, we should connect it with respect to the ground level, it is okay. Or otherwise, we should give two pipelines. One is for domestic water supply, another one is for wastewater supply. So if there is a chance to give two different pipelines, it is well and good. We can provide a good solution for that.
And one more question is, what is the optimum intervention in reduce the mistakes?
Only thing is periodical monitoring and the cross-examining the works like that. How can
one more question also came, sir. Actually, they are asking so many questions. So don't
yeah.
How
actually,
can
the
the
ventilation
system?
it could be planned the cross ventilation. The cross ventilation that is better. So in both the sides, if the window openings has been kept, the circulation of air movement will be well and good, or otherwise it will create a stacked effect. It won't create much improvement in the ventilation system.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir. You can use. Dear participants, please fill your feedback link for the session 2, and it should complete within some 10 to 15 minutes. So please, once you fill the form, while you are filling the form, please type your name as like how you need to get the certificate, and type your email ID and type the FDP registration number. I seen today morning session some of the members are not given the registration number properly. It leads to missing of attendance. So again I am saying, please fill your registration number, everything properly. And still some of the members are asking questions. I will forward these questions to the speaker and he will give back the reply. The same thing I will forward to you. Thank you.